Hello people, welcome to this episode. Again, we are back on your screens. I'm called Madreen and this is Women Rise at Civic Space TV. Yes, now if it is your first time watching us, please like our show, comment, send a comment, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Join me, welcome Miss Nagasha Wicklin Mucunguzi. Oh, Mrs. Mucunguzi. Yes, I think I'm right there.
You're right.
Yes, so Miss Wicklin is an accountant. She's a marriage counselor. So she's here to tell us about her life and, of course, take us through the work that she's doing and how it is really helping society out there. You're welcome, and the floor is yours. Say hello to our viewers.
Thank you so much. And hello, our good viewers. I'm happy to be here to speak to you on issues that affect us as human beings. And I will be glad if you pick one or two from our discussion.
Of course, of course. And Wicklin, wow, Wicklin is really a nice name. I think I've not heard so much of this name.
Of the name. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
The name is a bit unique.
Yeah.
And it's Spanish.
Ah.
Yes. My father gave it to me after he had been in Spain for some time. So when he came back, that's the time I was born. And he had stayed with the family. They used that name, but it was a little different. Theirs was Wilkins.
Ah,
yeah.
Wilkins.
But as he discussed with them, then they mentioned the names in the family, and Wicklin was one of them. And he liked the name, I guess.
It's a beautiful name.
Maybe even the personality of the person who had the name. Yes.
Okay. I see. So Wicklin, you're going to tell us about yourself. Who is Wicklin? What do you do?
Yes. Thank you so much. Wicklin, I'm actually called Nagasha Wicklin.
Yes.
Then I add, of course, my husband's name, Mucunguzi. I am married for now 12 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
With 3 beautiful daughters. And I'm married to a gentleman, Mucunguzi Jackson. You know, these days you have to specify. I know. Because sometimes you can be married to a fellow woman. Okay. Yes. And we do a lot of counseling for the young couples, for even the older couples and middle. We started this because we realized there was a gap. Yes. There was a big gap in society. We looked at the situation of marriages and the situation of the unmarried people. The unmarried are fearing to get married. Those who are married are crying. And we felt like, really, this is...
What is happening?
What is this?
Yes.
What is going to happen even after our generation? So we said, no, we need to do something. Because, and I can tell you, at times you even wake up in the morning and you're like, why did we start this? It is so much. So big, yeah. So big. And sometimes you feel the pain of the people and you don't even want to sleep. So it is that taxing, it is that heavy. But I'm glad that God is enabling us to carry on. And it is something good, because sometimes when you talk to people and they understand and agree, there's that kind of satisfaction, there's that kind of joy that you carry, and you feel like, yes, I am worthy to live. If I can cause a smile on 1 or 2 people's faces. Yes.
And you keep mentioning of we are doing this. You're doing this with a friend.
Yes, I am doing this with my husband. Because I realized if you do it alone, it is incomplete. Because generally marriage is a spirit of oneness. And if you don't achieve that, if you don't show it to the people, then how are they going to agree? Or how are they going to achieve it? It is only when you do what you're talking about that people will understand. Because when you come as a lady, as a man, yes, you could be having a bigger message. But when people don't see what you do vis-a-vis what you're saying, sometimes people take these things, they just say, okay, this is what they say. This is what everybody says. But who does it?
Doing it,
Yes. So for us, we went an extra mile. Then we are saying, no, we are going to do it. And we are going to show people. And we are going to say what we are doing. Yeah.
Beautiful work there.
Yes.
And then before we go so much deep into this conversation, of course, we don't want to miss you growing up.
Yeah.
You know, that little bit of you growing up, your education background, something little about it.
About it.
Yes.
Okay. Growing up, I am one of the lucky people who grew up with a very, I can say responsible father. Yes. My father was he was a very busy man. He actually traveled a lot. Like I told you, he was in Spain. The other time you would hear he's in the UK. He was always traveling. But the moment he came back, he made sure he sat with me, particularly me, and talked to me. And he was a disciplinarian. He loved to discipline, to the extent that if he met you on the road and you were there misbehaving, he would stop the car and talk to you and discipline you. And people would start running whenever they would see him. So, and because of that, most of my siblings feared him. But for me, I didn't.
You did.
I didn't. Whenever I would hear the car, I think I would be the first person to run out.
To run and
welcome him, then come home, then sit. Then I think
or
I was...
maybe you were daddy's girl.
I would say so. But I think it was because of my character that I was doing what he liked. I never disturbed him. So I also got attracted to him, and he was also attracted to me that way. So I think I would be the person who would take the rugambo at home because I would sit, tell him whatever happened while he was away, whatever was happening at school, and then he would really talk to me. He would listen to me and then respond. In his response, he would counsel me, he would talk to me deeply about life. Yes. And this is something I think I've seen missing in our parenting style. Parents are always telling kids, you have to study, you need to go to school, you have to read.
It's only about books.
It's only about education. But life, we are missing out on the part of the school of life. Because nobody is teaching it. And people are just growing up, you go to class, yes, you excel. You become, you're always the first, and you have a first-class degree and all that. But when you get to the field, you become a total failure. Why? Because you have nothing concerning life. Because you're living anyhowly, which is very heartbreaking. And sometimes the parents, you look at the parent. There's a day I was talking to one parent, and he's a lawyer in town, and he was saying, the daughter excelled with flying colors in senior 4. So he was like, okay. Then I said, oh, congratulations. Then he said, no. No, I don't want that. I said, why? Then he said, yeah, she could have excelled. These are levels. She would even maybe excel at the next level, even finish the university. This is not what I want. For me, what I'm interested in is to see her excel in life. And it was so deep.
Very deep.
It was so deep. And I was so excited. I said, oh, okay, I think this parent is intentional. Yes. Because most of us, the parents, when the child excels at school, you're all over, you want to spoil the child, you're happy, you look at it as success, but it's not.
There are other things
There
that
are
accompany
other things that accompany it. Because there, you can imagine if you have all that excitement throughout the school, and when this child gets to a certain stage, they are stuck.
Yeah.
The kind of disappointment you would get with such a child is just unbearable. The pain. I have the people we were studying with. I know there's a girl, she used to win. She was always winning us. But I met her one day and I couldn't believe. I couldn't. Life, I think, I don't know how it treated her, but it was different. And sometimes it's something that you can't like. You know, on social media, people are always making a joke, saying, those who used to be the first, where are you? And you know, it's a casual joke, but it carries a lot of meaning. It carries a lot of meaning. How can you really put in that effort, you excel, but you fail at something very small? Yeah.
So
I used to
where are we going wrong?
I think it is the parenting, one, and two, they're almost the same. It's the family. We are coming from broken families, and it's not our fault. And nobody is bothered. Like I told you, the school of life. Nobody's at school. The teachers are looking at teaching you the education that you paid for, that you are there for. But what about life? And when it comes to marriage, and sometimes I even look at it and I'm like, no, the government is also not doing so much. And, you know, it has left it alone. I don't know if we need to do something to it.
So, Wicklin, you're talking of the government. What exactly should the government do to help
like,
us
of course,
in
we have
parenting?
ministries.
Okay.
Yes, of course. And the marriage. We could have some more rules, some more, you know, tangible information from the government always, urging people to keep their marriages. Because you see, people are doing it casually. They do it today, tomorrow it's no more. This union had a child. The child is in between here. Nobody wants to know. Then they are saying, maybe you can co-parent. You get? And it is becoming so common today. And everybody wants to go that way. And the government is silent. And the society where we live, this is where the crime rate is going up. Why? Because it's the children that we have not nurtured so well. And they are taking them to prison, bringing them out, and taking them to mental care places and all that. There is a time I went to Morago, to this place, what is Butabika? Is it Butabika? Yes. And I was shocked. We had taken there someone, and there was no space.
People are many.
People are many.
And I think that is few compared to people who are, you know, suffering and are not even aware of what
they are going through. And then we were begging them, saying, please let him be somewhere, so that when there's space, then the person can come in.
And we have, these days, we've had a lot of cases, of suicidal cases.
Of course. All those things. And when you go deep and you understand what was the problem, it all comes from the family. It all comes from the family. The person feels neglected. The person feels worthless. And they decide to end their lives. And some other people, they want to struggle when they have, you see, in parenting, the first 5 years of a child's life is very important.
Very important.
Because this child, it is as if you have a blank page and you're writing on it. What is it that you're writing on that page?
For the 5 years.
For the first 5 years. Sometimes when this child is neglected, is here and there, definitely the child is going to have mixed feelings. They will not know how to handle themselves. They will first of all not appreciate family because they have not grown in a family. There is a young man I talked to, and I asked him, why don't you get married? He said, why? I asked him, I said, hey, you mean you're not even thinking about it? And he was a graduate. And he told me his story. He said, you see, I don't think about marriage keenly. I said, then he was like, I was not born out of a marriage.
Why should I get married?
Then I was like, you don't want to have children? He said, I told you, I was not born out of a marriage.
Yeah.
And I don't care, I would have children.
Actually, that reminds me, there is a clip that I've seen moving. People are trying to do it. Children copy what they see,
Exactly.
not what you tell them.
What you tell them. That's very true.
Yeah.
Because you see now, these days, even us, the parents, what we are doing is contrary to what we are saying. You go and tell them, you have to behave. Then the next day they hear you on phone telling a lie. Somebody, you say, hey, I am in Chireka. The child is singing at home.
And I know they will definitely ask you, but mommy, why are you lying?
No, they will keep quiet. But they will keep picking those things.
I can also do this.
Then they will also use it next time. And at times, these quarrels in the families, the child is there looking. You're there, you don't even know how to handle yourselves as the parents. You're in front of these children, you're shouting at each other, and you're belittling the wife sometimes, and the child is seeing. And the boy child is picking something, saying, so women are supposed to be treated like that. My mother is a small woman. I can treat a woman in any way. I can. I feel like. These are some of the things the children pick from us. And I think the generations have experienced this. Like I told you, nobody is there to say no. There is a problem, we need to put a stop to it. Because even the churches, you go to the church, you register to get married. You marry, you go. Nobody wants to know where the marriage has gone. Nobody follows up to see, yes, we wedded these people, 100 people this year. Where are they?
That leaves a very big question. Who, to who should follow up and check on these people. But we have our right hand men, the person who who seconds you when you're signing
the matron and
yes.
But these people
probably we think those are the people that should first really be the
you see these people also, you see, you're choosing them because they are people nearest to you, right? In most cases,
but
yes, because you see, you're looking at a person almost of your age.
Of your age, your size.
What do they know?
So how should people pick these people? Because I think
these people,
quite important.
It is quite important, but these ones are also trying to run their homes, their families, and you don't expect them to keep holding. They can, if you are also interested. And you're coming to them. But these days, some people don't want to talk. They keep it to themselves. Sagara kuswala. I don't want to get...
What will society say?
I don't. Don't mention. This is ours. It is between the two of us. Then they keep with their challenges. until they cannot handle them
Anymore.
And the preparations before marriage, we don't have. We don't have.
Is it only these days? Because if you read maybe
Back,
yes,
you see,
that the girl child was given that orientation. Go to your singer, go to your
you see that time.
They give you that.
If you look at what used to happen then, this girl was prepared. As she grew, she's being prepared. You have to cook. You have to go to the garden. You have to look after children. In a long time. Because the people of then knew that her only responsibility was to take care of the home, the children, and the husband. And that is what they did. In a long time, as a young girl used to grow, that is how the girl would get nurtured. Today, we are in school. And sometimes, even when we are in a holiday,
still
it is almost the same. Yeah. You're revising, you're reading, and it is only at that time when you're going to get married, then they are saying, hey, you need to go to counseling. You need to get a singer to talk to you. Just one day. You think that one day to talk to a person, to teach you a lifetime, in one day, it is impossible. It is impossible. And this person is being talked to, at least for the girls. But the boy, nobody is talking to the boy. And here you are. In fact, for me, I said, no, I cannot allow to go and talk to the girl who is getting married.
You want to talk
I want to talk to both of them.
Okay.
Because I know where they are heading. It requires two people.
Yeah.
Why should you talk to one person? What you're teaching this person is definitely going to benefit both of them. So why should you hide? We still even have this thing of hiding. The man should not know what
happens.
But who is the beneficiary? It is the man. So if we don't unite this and say these people, both of them need to know what they are going to do and what they are going into, then we are wasting time.
Yeah.
Yes, because I know of a girl, they trained her prior to her wedding, and when she reached home, she wanted to apply those things, and the man said, hey, what are you doing? What are these things I'm seeing here? I will send you back to your home. And he imagined, she was stuck with her knowledge that they had given her. She stopped.
Yeah.
But imagine if they had sat together and this information was given and the man gets to know. You see, of course, at the end of the day, the decision should be for both of them. Then the man could have understood. And that could have even benefited their marriage. But he stopped.
Well, Wicklin, so when do you start this counseling career? Because I see professionally you're an accountant. Are you practicing your profession as well as, you're doing this?
Yes. Now, as I was growing up, like I said, my father being a disciplinarian, and I think he had some kind of a position in society. So he had much respect. And the couples, the people who would get those challenges would come.
Oh.
Yes, at home.
Okay.
And not that he was a counselor per se. No, he wasn't. But he was a person, I think, of character. People would look up to him. So they would come at home. My mother was the head of Mothers Union. And he was also, I think, Fathers Union. So that is how they ended up coming home. And I was growing up, I was young. And at home, I used to do the serving. so much. So whenever they would be talking, I would be running around, hearing what they are saying, bringing tea.
Okay.
So I learned so much
lot,
from those
yes.
sessions that you would have. I remember one day, that was one thing I picked and I didn't know. There's a person who came, the wife was working and he was also working. Then the complaint was she was coming home late from work. And so my father asked and said, okay, but you are aware she's working? Yes, she's okay. Why don't you get one evening, go to her workplace and see how late she gets than you running home and you are annoyed.
And then you complain why she's dead.
Just once in a week, then you will appreciate. And I was like, hey, okay. And the man said, okay, I'll do that. And they accepted, they went back, and their marriage is still there. But you can see that that was something very small.
Very small.
Very small. We have it even today. Someone will complain, my wife comes home late. But you're not even interested in getting to know. I think the challenge we have today is we want to complain. We don't want to look at solutions.
Also, and understand why.
We don't want to look at solutions. If there is a challenge, you are not interested in seeing how you're going to solve the challenge. Yours is to complain every day. But it could be something very small that can be even resolved so easily. You can imagine now such a thing. Someone just popping by, saying, and you appreciate, even when you're at home, you even know what she's doing. And you're comfortable. And it will not bring any hard feelings. Yeah, I think we need to learn to look at the positive side of life. When you're a positive-minded person, even when something wrong happens, then you want to know how you can redeem the situation. What could be the solution to this? That is how I actually behave. I am a very positive person. In fact, when I get negative people, around, I feel very uncomfortable. I feel very uncomfortable. I even tell them, I ask them, I said, please, I think that is not an area I would love you to go to. Someone would want, even when they look at something, I have realized the negative people, they will pick something that you are not even seeing.
Yes.
The wrong,
the tiny ones and the wrong, only
the very wrong one. Then they will mention to you and say, but this one, why? Like the other day I made a video and my daughters, they are these snacks they ate. So they found rings in there. And there was a ring for the nose. So my daughter brought it and put it on my nose. So, and I said, hey, she told me she got it from the snack and all that. So I made a video. Hey, people started commenting and saying, hey, that ring. I said, now, really? They are not even getting the message. They are interested in the ring. But it had nothing to do with my personality and me. It is not something that I love. My nose is not pricked. It is just because the kid did it. And I wanted to make her happy that I have put on her ring. And she was so happy. But whatever people were saying, I got shocked.
Hey, social media can also make you run crazy.
Yes, but when you are a positive-minded person, the story is different. Because even if they come up with the negative energy, you easily suppress it. You know how to stop it. And it does not even affect you in any way. It doesn't.
And right from there, I'll ask you something about how, as married people, how can we, put back the negative, the negative people, forces that come within family, also beyond family, around our communities, church, and everywhere, your workmates.
True.
And then look at the positive side.
There, the answer is actually very small, according to all that. Yes, as married people, you see, we even forget the purpose of marriage from creation. What was the purpose? How did God make it? He said the two shall become one. Fresh. One in a sense that your ideas, your thoughts should marry. You have the same thinking. You rhyme in each and everything. That is the oneness. And marriage is completely spiritual. Because when you look at that, yes, we remain two people, definitely. But God is seeing us as one. What does that mean? It even means that in prayer, when you're not one in spirit, it is difficult for God to listen to your prayers. Why? Because he intended it. That it should be, you need to be, even in prayer, you're supposed to be praying together. Yes. You have to pray together. That is what God intended the marriage for. And it automatically becomes a ministry. Because the husband has to minister to his family. He's a head, according to creation. And the lady is a helper. What does a helper do? You help around with what your leader wants. You don't want to become the head now. Because some of us have done that, the women. Because you have some money, maybe you are earning more than your husband. For you want to rise up above him and you want him to do what she's supposed to be doing. And you do what he's supposed to be doing. You confuse the roles. Now, I want to answer the first question. That oneness. When you are one, even if somebody came and talked to you, on those other third parties who are coming in, you will have the same thinking. Because you would have discussed this and you will know. And you will talk to them and you will defend yourself and your significant other. And him also is supposed to do that. And when you do that, people will know. They will understand. And they will
keep going away.
They will keep understanding their position. But otherwise, if you don't direct it, it becomes a total mess. Sometimes even when you are talking to a couple, you don't even know where to start from. The sister, the brother, the mother, the father, everybody is in the family, in the marriage. And it's a total mess. Total mess. And sometimes it is worse with the women who have brought up their sons. How I wish they would understand that they are doing a ministry to bring up this child. This child is not tied to you. When he grows up, let him be. Let him go make a marriage that maybe you never had. Support him. But what do? They want to hold on to their sons because they feel they have put in so much. And their sons are also attached to them. Why? Because they feel they made a lot of sacrifice.
Is it only to the mothers or also
It
the
is
fathers?
commonly with the mothers. Actually, I think I've not seen a very big challenge with the fathers. I think the fathers, I don't know if that is how, you see, for them naturally, they don't attach so much with the children. So I think that's the advantage they have. But it is mainly the mothers. And the other day, I think there is a video which was it a message on social media? And I made a comment, I said, mothers, and some mothers came and said, not with my son. And you imagine, and I was like, really? How are we going to help these boys with their mothers to let go? Because from creation, it is you will leave your father and mother, and you will cleave to your wife. It doesn't mean he's running away and he's not coming back. He will come back, he will take care of you, he will do everything, but let him decide, let him reason with the wife. Get out of that area, because that is where the confusion is. They want to steal, they still want, how did you do that? You didn't tell me. I remember when I was growing up, when I started working, I bought a car, and my father came and got me driving, and he's like, hey, you never told me. And I laughed. I said, Daddy, you mean I usually called him boyfriend. And I said, boyfriend, you wanted me to tell you that I was going to buy you. He said, but it's okay. I think he wanted to see my reasoning and all that. And he said, it's okay. Thank you. And it was okay. But there are people who will be very, strong on that. They ask you, how could you do that? You're not telling me. I am your mother. How?
And I think it has brought up really very big differences in families.
Big differences.
Yeah.
Very big. And you
hear women saying, my husband cannot do anything before consulting his mother.
Parents.
So
they are so influential. It is bad, because you're not letting the boy go to become a man. When is he going to become a man? And this is one thing I don't like with children from rich families. No, because the parents don't want to let them go. They want to keep checking, they want to keep seeing, what are you doing?
Okay?
I know families where they have to carry clothes to their parents' home to be washed, then they bring them back. Really? How do you operate like that? Because you see, this woman is confused because she does not have a leader. She has to look at him the way as a brother, you get? So the respect will go, because you are seeing the parents as the leaders. These are the people you are respecting. But this one, whom you are supposed to respect, you will not respect them.
And Wicklin, you're talking about respect, and in one of your submissions you mentioned about the roles, a working woman. Well, I've seen this, there is a debate that has been running on social media, who should do what. Yes. Now, if you have a working woman, yes, so what kind of roles should they play? Should there be some kind of, helping each other? We are both working, we should both share the responsibilities at home, mainly home chores.
Yes, that is a very good question, and I think it makes people's heads boil. But like I said, a family has its pyramid. You have God, you have your husband, follow, you are there. Your position is there, the third, as a helper. And a helper's position is not a small one, by the way. It's a very big position. Only that we look at it from the surface. But it is a very big one. And a husband as a head, at times, this woman, even if you earn so much compared to your husband, you need to remain in your position as a helper. Discuss the finances. Then decide that you can keep the money. It will depend on how you understand each other. You can have an account for the family. You can keep your money. You know how much each one of you earns. And you're discussing every time to see how you're going to spend this money. So you are indirectly contributing as a helper. And a helper, what does a helper do? That's exactly the role. You are helping this man. It is not only washing, it is not only bringing up the children and even biblically, we have women who used to have merchants and trading. But they never became men. They never took positions of their husbands. You remain in your position. You have to understand your position in a marriage. This money is just something, an added advantage to make sure that your life goes on smoothly. That you're not struggling, that you're not... But it is not to, bring you up from your position to a different position. Yes, but the respect must remain. And the men, of course, have to remain loving husbands, not threatened. The problem we have today, they get threatened.
And I also wanted to say something because, you're saying, much as you're saying, you're supposed to keep you in your position. But I'm right there. But then the person above me is not showing any sign of, being that I'm loving, I'm respectful. Don't I need, as a woman, don't I need that kind of
That is
respect
important.
back?
Now, like I told you, where we have grown from, our backgrounds are different. This man grew up seeing the father providing. And the mother possibly was a home woman. It becomes so hard for him to process that now the wife is earning more than him. So this man actually needs to talk to someone. You need to get out of that share of yours and go talk to people. You even go to people he respects. And you talk about that issue. Like I said, we want to keep things to ourselves. And we can't manage some of these things. And most of these things are patterns in life. The patterns we have lived with from our childhood. And these ones, they come and manifest in our marriages. And you can't do anything. Because that is who we are. And when we get into this marriage, sometimes we get there without an identity. You don't know who you are. You don't. If they asked you, you can't even write who you are. Like I said, you will just sit and write the education part of it. I've done this. But who are you? If I want to get to know you. We don't know. You cannot sit. And who does this? Like I said, those 5 years, what you're writing on that paper, that is what gives somebody an identity. And as they grow, you keep nurturing them to have that identity. And someone will have to say, I know myself, these are my boundaries, I can't do this, I can't do this, and this is what I'm capable of doing. And when you have your identity, and you go and approach someone and they tell you that, yes, now, that is who you are, but this is the reality of life. Your identity on this issue is right. Because this is what you have grown up seeing. The mother was, and at times we have parents who have really put our mothers down. And the boy child was raised to do that because that is what he grew up seeing. So he wants to apply that even when he gets married to a woman who is educated and who is working. You need help. That is why I am saying in Africa we have taken long to embrace counseling and therapy. We need it. The childhood traumas come and disorganize us. And we don't know. You find a person is well placed, an MD of an organization, but he cannot put the home together. Why? And someone doesn't even see that they have a problem. They don't want to see. For them, they are thinking, me, I'm a man. You don't talk to me. But you're a human being. And you're supposed to live in a certain way in society and with your family. And your family is your first responsibility. If you fail at the primary responsibility, what are you even doing there in that big office? Those are some of the challenges we are having. You know, like in the whites, if you get challenges at home, they will tell you to step down. That is why I was telling you the government is not helping us. Some of those small things. If you know that you are going to lose this job, if you are not putting your family in order, do you think you will misbehave? You will not. You will not. You will make sure you take care of your family, you take care of that is why at my workplace, I usually want to know the people I work with, their families, how they are doing. And some of them come with different challenges, we talk. And because, I mean, they will come with the problems from home. And they will behave differently at work. And you are thinking this is a bad person, but this is not a bad person. But the challenges around. And sometimes they are not even big. Something you can tell someone and you find someone going through it smoothly without challenges.
Wow, our time is really running up, but as we try to wrap it up, yes, so where do these people, I think many of us do not know what we are going through.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
And the counselors, you're coming out, which is really good. But to people who do not know that these services are there, there are people that are really offering these services. How do you help these people?
I think one of these days, we have many wellness centers in Kampala. I don't know up country because I have not really taken time to check. But I think even if you go and Google, you would see most of these people. And most of them, you can get them from churches. You go to church, you ask. They can refer you to a good counselor, to a good therapist, and talk to a friend. The problem, we don't want to talk.
But then also the friends that we talk to sometimes, I'll come and tell you my problem,
you
and
may
then
not
tomorrow I'll find it
everywhere.
Somewhere
Don't
else.
tell them the problem.
Okay.
Just tell them, I need a counselor, I have a challenge. They will just keep suspecting, what is this, what could be the problem. But don't narrate the problem to them.
Because
just try to make sure that, and if sometimes we have so many of them, some of them are not, you see, when you meet a counselor who is not having that Christian background, they can teach you anything. They will tell you, if the man is behaving like that, just go. Hey. But you have to be careful also. As you discuss, as you see the person you are going to see, try to understand. Some of them don't have families. How do you go to a person who does not have a family and you're going to consult on family issues? You get?
Yeah, because I also saw someone saying if you're not married, you should avoid, giving advice to a married
Exactly,
person.
because you do not
You don't know what
actually
happens there.
understand what happens in a marriage. And you see, marriage is a lifetime. It's a journey. As you go through it, you keep learning new things. Like I was saying, that school of life. I think marriage is the best school of life.
Yeah.
Because it teaches you
Everything.
Every day. I keep telling people that for me, every day I must learn something. Every day. And I can't just wake up and say, I know it all. No, I don't. I keep learning. Every day I am learning. And the people who follow me, of course, especially those on my WhatsApp, I share a lot. We even have a family group, the Mucunguzi and friends. I do a lot. When I learn something, I share.
You share.
When I learn something, I share.
Yeah.
And like the thing of identity, so many people have come up to tell me they don't know. It is something that is actually a requirement to so many people. And these are big people, old people. Someone says, what are you talking about? Identity? Then, of course, when I say we are not talking about your education, your marital status, we are talking about you. And then, but what is it you want? You get? They don't know. And someone has grown up to 40 years without an identity. So you can imagine how they have wandered around the world because the identity is not there. And it is very important. And we are not even putting it in our children that we have. So there is a whole mess in a society that needs to be cleaned. And I usually tell people that we can have these courses in school. We can look at maybe senior 5, 6 and the university. We can teach marriage dynamics, some of these things, so that by the time you're getting, because definitely people, by the time you get out of school, you know something.
You know something.
Yes. It is not something you can learn in a day. These things they put, I don't know, Senga is going to bridal shower. It doesn't make sense.
And Wicklin, so far, this service, you're offering this service with your husband. What are some of the few beautiful moments that you think you have achieved as counselors? Yes. Are there any testimonies that people have given for you?
Yes, we do. We have many.
Okay.
They keep coming every day. But there's one particular one where we talked to a couple. And these people were over 20 years in marriage. And they were at the verge of divorce. We talked to them, and by the time they left, they were on the same page.
Wow.
And that was, so beautiful, that, 20 years is not a joke. You just let the 20 years scatter just like that. It was something so nice. They are together up today.
Wow.
And that was beautiful. And we have those so many ones. Even some of them come to my inbox telling me, from just the teachings we are doing, someone tells you that I was at the verge of separating, but I stayed.
Wow.
And you don't even know them. And you're like, okay, I think this is nice.
And as a counselor, what are some of your work ethics that you think have kept you so strong and, being a good counselor to as the service you give to people?
Yeah, of course, one of them is you don't tell people secrets. You don't. Because you just become, you're like a bank. You keep. You don't, after talking to them, then you go telling these ones have this challenge, like you are saying, if you tell a friend. So you have to keep the confidentiality, and you have to keep at the Christian level. you have to be Christian. You have to bring out the Bible. Because this is the only space that is safe for us. But if you start bringing in the worldly things, and that is why sometimes when I'm talking to people, I tell them, let us first put the money element aside. We are talking, who are we?
Man has become a problem.
Because sometimes that is the confusing element. And the challenge we have today is even some people, when they are entering that marriage, it is because of money. Not because they like the person that they are going with. No.
So money is a very big factor.
It is a very big confusion. But again, you see what is challenging today is even when you go because of the money, you reach there, you don't even enjoy the money. And you're frustrated and you want to go.
Well, thank you so much, Wicklin, for, you know, we cannot end because this is a very important topic, and the work you're doing is really amazing. I think many Ugandans need to hear more about these services, because people are dying silently.
They are.
And they have no one to talk to. Families neglecting. So counselors, when you come in, I think to really help also reduce on the mental health challenges, suicidal cases.
True.
And lastly, how are you able to juggle through all this? You're a mother, you're a working person, you're a married person, and then you have to also listen to other people's problems. How do you do this?
I really thank God. I have not found it a burden. Not at one time. Why? Because I think I have a supportive husband. Because when I'm running around and doing all these things, he's there. When I'm going to do this, he's doing the other. So it becomes, we have worked as a team, and it becomes a bit easier. I was talking to a lady yesterday, and she came to my office, and we were sharing, and she said, but isn't this too much on your shoulder? Then I told her, no, I thank God, it's not. And she was shocked. I said, no, it wasn't. And indeed, it's not. Because it is something that, you know, we discovered and realized we really needed to step in. So it was out of willingness. It's not forced, it's willingness. So we do it willingly. Sometimes we have so many things rhyming, but at times I like it the way we share with my husband. So then I'm like, so where do we go? He said, serving people comes first. Then at times also when he's also about to say, we postpone this, and then I'm like,
the power of teamwork.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So beautiful. I think I'll copy that from the power of teamwork. You know, when you agree on something, do it together. I think it makes work easier and life easier.
That's true.
So thank you so much, Wicklin, for coming through. It has been an amazing conversation. I think we need more of these conversations. Find someone to talk to. Do not die alone. People are there to listen to you. And maybe if someone wants to, you know, get in touch with you for these services.
On Facebook, you can get me, Nagasha Wicklin Mucunguzi. And the other spaces, I have not been there so much. But I have a WhatsApp number, which I usually use. And all the ladies that come to me, of course, keep the number, and I'm sharing, I'm doing all that so much. Maybe I could share it. It's 774-605-145. 774 605 145.
4, 5. All right.
Yeah. And don't come looking for money. Don't come looking for I don't know what.
Of course.
But focused on whatever challenge you're going through.
Yes.
Yes, I'll be there. I'll be waiting to hear from you, and I will respond.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much for giving us this special time to our viewers. I believe you have picked something from what Nagasha has shared with you, and a lot more, you know, to learn. Thank you for being very lovely viewers. As I said, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe and follow the conversations that run on Civic Space TV Monday to Sunday. I've been your host, Madreen. See you next time. Bye.